Hello, one and all. This is Off to Battle with Jeremiah Bork, and this is basically the climax of this rivalry that I had in this campaign between High Queen Kalita and Krokgar of the Lizardmen, the Last Defenders. And it's been quite a ride. It's silly how this blew up into something that just could not be resolved. There was no peace to be had. I mean, Krokgar actually pieced out a couple of times, or at least, well, after he rescinded the first time from the peace treaty, well, you just knew that there was no ending this without one side or the other going down. So, a bunch of spearmen here, some tomb guard here, and one with halberds here, and then some skeleton archers, and I have Necropolis Knights with halberds. That's a very valid unit. I have harasser or skeleton archer chariots. This is not an army that's going to take on both Krokgar and his reinforcements. It's just not. Although these are just this is just a settlement. But yeah, it's this is just to lay the groundwork for my reinforcements because I have Kalita coming in, and she's going to do a lot to settle this. This is a funny thing. This army here was supposed to have a Tomb Prince. They assassinated the Tomb Prince just before the battle. I mean, in the sense of wounding, not killing, quote unquote. So, I'm just going to fast forward a bit as I actually get my reinforcements for Kalita somewhat organized. Although, I say that, but yeah. I'm not at the point where I'm going to play on Legendary and not have pausing, because stuff like this is annoying. The enemy finally starts coming at me, and I'm still trying to organize Kalita in the back, but... So yeah, the secondary army is basically... I mean, the army that I actually attack with is basically a screen to try and just whittle down and damage them as much as possible. And also, I was able to get a pretty decent Vortex spell going off there. It looks great, but unless you're using the Overcharge, the Overcast spell, you're not getting that much out of it. Rakash is one of the unlockable lords who you pay canonical jars for, and his main thing is that he has a stupidly large, powerful leadership aura, which is not the worst thing. And here we have another Blessed Carnosaur that they got from somewhere or other, just from Krokgar being Krokgar. Mad flank here. That's what I have. Stalker's here to try and do something about it. But yeah, trying to get cavalry superiority against a force like this with Krokgar and the next 3 spear cold ones. Not all of them were spear weapons. I have a Necro Sphinx, and I'm trying to use it to take down Krokgar specifically. Or at least soften him up so that I can bring Kalita in. I have the Bone Giant Senpai just helping out as much as I can. I have the Necropolis Knights with halberds ready to help whittle down this stuff once I actually get around to microwing it. Sending the artillery at something in the distance so that it doesn't hurt me as much as the enemy. I just forgot about these Necropolis Knights. I mean, the Stalkers actually do a pretty decent job just holding positions. And Krokgar came into the deep back line, and Kalita here, spec for melee, and now level 25. He is definitely having a better time against him than she has had in the past. having that Necrosphinx just, well, the idea would be to have this guy go over here, but there's a lot of infantry here. So I actually sent Tomb Prince and just trying to take him out. Was that in the first army, or did I get the timing of the assassination thing wrong? Because I know it happened, but it was a long campaign, remembering how... I say it's a long campaign. It was a long rivalry. Thinking here taking some damage, but... oh well. So yeah, even though I didn't remember to use the Necropolis Knights with halberds, these Stalkers did a very good job of just stiffening the line. Including here to use your Brimwave and various other stuff, and just trying to take down the Blob as well as I can. Kroq-Gar was actually killed off way over here. He was not able to flee from the battlefield, running all that way. I know that Tomb Prince, that had been the one I leveled into over my dead body with a, so he gets a spear, a speed bonus. The Necrosphinx, very cool unit. But if you're not using it directly against the really big, large targets, you're wasting it a little bit, but still good to have. At this point, I was just trying to inflict some extra casualties. More XP, more value out of it. But this basically broke the back of what was left of Kroq-Gar's faction. With the Blessed mechanic, he was still able to get some pretty dangerous armies up from some pretty bad situations of not having much for settlements left. Look at the stuff in the distance. Very good. Very nice. So yeah, even though they had a bunch of good units, he also had a bunch of skink cohorts here that provide zero value to him. And you see that once I got the artillery up, that they actually did some pretty good job stuff. Shot me with, oh, this is the Chosen of the Gods. I got some good value for the spells. Lone Giant Senpai is just consistent. And I get some high value for the Stalkers, because they were fighting cavalry basically the whole time. And that's all she wrote. That was quite a rivalry. It reached stupidly large proportions and dominated this campaign. And basically, once I finished this and dealing with Thorek, which was quite a thing by itself, I was done with that campaign. I was like, this particular one is done. Because I had nothing else that I aspired to do with that particular one. So that's the rivalry. I hope you've enjoyed it if you've watched this little mini-series. Take care. Have fun.